Hi, I'm Kevin Tame, and welcome to the Hacktivist. Today I'm playing the CI Stinson deck, and I'm playing this against Val. And this is a little different Val. It has a lot of good stuff, but it also has the Aeneas Informant and Data Sucker and a few other things that make it pretty strong, I think. So let's jump right into this match. So this isn't a great starting hand, so I decide that I'm going to mulligan. Hopefully I can see a some better cards. I see the Jeeves and the Enigma, which is decent, and then I want to fire off this Violet level clearance next turn. So hopefully my opponent doesn't come in and snag these agendas. But seeing this Informant was interesting because it's going to be good money generation. So what I want to do is I don't really want to give my opponent servers to be able to make money with Informant. So I'm going to be icing up quite a bit. I also assume my opponent might be on Ma, which is problematic, and I have no recursion. My only recursion really is Vitruvius. So getting counters on Vitruvius is going to really help me out here. I go ahead and play Scarcity. I don't want to see any more of these. I don't want my opponent to be generating a ton of money. My opponent just discounts it anyways and goes ahead and plays. And here, what I want to do is I want to set up either an MCA or reversed accounts. So I go ahead and install 3 things, and then I'm able to get Jeeves down. Because what I want to do is I want to tax the runner out. But if I can score one of these elective upgrades, it's huge. So my opponent turns into Omar, which is a huge problem here, but I get super lucky in that they don't hit an agenda. I don't want Omar to be a problem, so I go ahead, and unfortunately, this was a total misplay on my part, which I realized right when I was double clicking for the draw, is I needed to click MCA because my opponent then could come in and deal with a lot of this stuff because of usually Fairchild 3 or touring is your way to get around protecting these servers. So my opponent didn't run that. So run MCA Informant or MCA austerity policy, and that I think really saved my bacon a little bit. Here I just kind of need money. I don't want my opponent to continue to hit HQ. They have the breaker, so Ichi is a great piece of ice to really tax out MK Ultra. So here is kind of a decision point for me, is how do I need my opponent to be poor, and since they ran, I can't use this shipment from Tenon, but I really want to use reversed accounts on them right now. And so I'm just kind of counting up my clicks to figure out how I can be optimal. And I'm debating here if I should use the biotic labor, because I really need to get as rid of much of their money as I can. And I also want to fire this Violet level or IPO, whatever it is, to recover. So here I need to have the click to use reversed and also fire off Stinson. So I go ahead and I use biotic. That gets them down to 5 credits, which is pretty punishing, going from 17 to 5. System outage isn't really going to be an issue for me. But unfortunately, I don't pay attention to it and I click using it anyways. What I should have done is I should have played the scarcity of resources and then did system outage. And then it started drawing up. So now I'm going to go ahead and start building up this remote. I'm stacking Fairchild and Touring because I want it to be taxing for my opponent. And once again, I'm going for the reversed accounts play. I don't want them to recover from the original one, and they have a liberated down. So they're getting the economy that they need, and I need to continue to punish that. I can't quite take all of their credits, so I just advance, hoping that they think it's something else. Even if they come in and try and trash his reversed accounts, it's still going to be taxing for them. And I believe they don't have the means to get in like a black orchestra. So I go ahead and get rid of as much of their money as I can. It might have been better to take them down even farther, but I wanted to have the click to be able to fire the IPO. So I see my opponent discards a maw, so they must have a maw in hand. And the only option I can really think of here is to try and try and just kind of lock down these servers a little bit. I don't want my opponent coming in and getting me. So once again, I get the reversed accounts again. And I just want to tax them out and get them to 1 credit. So my opponent now is using their click ability to be able to get through this. And they're hoping what they can do is get some single accesses, maw some important cards, and just win that way. I think I'm pretty safe here given the amount of credits my opponent has. The one risk I have is that they might use stim hack on me, but that's okay. I decide that I need to get this elective upgrade scored so that I can fast advance out the 2 Project Vitruviuses. And since I'm losing cards to maw, I need to double advance Vitruvius if I can. So what I'm hoping here is that I can either use a shipment from Tenon or get a Jeeves on the board. The problem with Jeeves is I can't really install Jeeves open because that gives an open server for my opponent to hit with maw. It's actually the best thing for them to do is hitting this efficiency committee because I don't want maw to hit. I don't want So what I'm trying to figure out here is what is my best play. I think what I want to do is I need to get Jeeves down so that I can get an extra counter. Because what this allows me to do is use elective upgrades, install advance, and then get an extra counter on Vitruvius. This is slowly going downhill for me. My opponent is able to just click through my ice, is able to deal with things like, and just getting the maw triggers is kind of luck sacking them in a way into hitting my key pieces. And the informant, what it does is with two things there, they're able to reveal them both and get money for it. I actually don't know why my opponent is coming back in here because they already got their maw trigger. It looks like they're just trying to get some turtle counters. And I just need to recover economically. I'm still unable to score this out. I just haven't had the money because if I score out, what ends up happening is I have to pitch a lot of my hand, and then obviously a lot of agendas are going to be in archives, and then they can either run HQ or run archives for the win. So right now the win is in archives for them, and so I really need them not to run archives, and I need to score a Vitruvius with a counter this next turn to protect it. This makes me really poor, but that's okay. I go ahead and I advance 4 times, and this allows me to then pull in the pull in the elective upgrades when my opponent goes in to run archives to see if they can try and steal. They know this is their last turn, so this is usually the time that they're going to run in and try and steal in archives. Or run HQ to, finally put the pressure in. All I need is 3 credits to win, though. So I can res a few pieces of ice. So I couldn't res the Fairchild because I need the money. I need 3 credits. I'm only able to afford things that cost 4, so like the Bastion on archives. So go ahead and I res Bastion, forcing a few of their real money, which is good because then that keeps them from hitting HQ several times. And so if my opponent comes in here, they could have 1 to 2, maybe only 1 run on HQ. Because the problem is they need to deal with this Ichi. The Ichi is actually doing a lot of the work. They paid with MK Ultra, which I think was a mistake. I think what they do is they use Data Sucker to bring down Ichi, and then click it 3 times. So that only costs them 3 credits. And then they should be able to run, and then 3 credits to get in. Yep, so that's a total of 3 credits. They would have been exactly at 0 if they had done it. If they had not used MK Ultra in that sense. They would have been able to have 2 accesses. Now they only get 1 access. Because now they don't have the points to get in. They don't have the credits. They are 2 credits short. So just giving my opponent a time to think here a little bit to see what they can do. And I think they realize they're out of outs, because if they run HQ and they can't click through the Ichi, they have to actually pay for it. And if they pay for the 2 subs, then they're short on getting through, especially with the tag now. They have to actually break IP block. And they need... And stealing the corporate sales team doesn't give them the counter for turtle, and so that makes it even more difficult. If they had the counter for turtle, then it would have been fine. They would have just paid through and got in. I go ahead and I advance for the win. It's a really great game, really tight. My opponent played, I think, really well there in the end. They had that one misplay. I think they shouldn't have played the MK Ultra. That was a mistake. They should have used their counter and Aumakua to be able to break Ichi. It was 2 credits shy of them being able to get another access, and I had a high likelihood that they were going to hit another agenda. So having another run on HQ probably would have been good for them. Well, I think when you play these Val decks, you kind of just got to figure out what they're doing. Ma can really hose you. One of the best plays you can do is you can over advance Vitruvius so that you can pull things back. The other thing is, in this match, I was much more aggressive with reversed accounts. I reversed accounts them 3 times, and I think that's more powerful than trying to do the MCA all the time. Usually you want to do MCA, I think, once you already have a lot of credits and they're pretty poor. Basically, the way I think the overall match wants to go is keep taxing them out, using reversed accounts, hit Stinson a bunch of times. Then they're going to be so poor, you're going to have a ton of money, so you can try and kind of lock them down, use MCA, or have some remote where you can score elective upgrades. And then after that, you have 2 turns to win the game by scoring Vitruviuses and whatnot. Thanks for watching. If you have any more questions or you like what I'm doing here, please subscribe to my channel, and have a great rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.